3, 2, 1. We are back, Captain, in
All
the
right.
captain's quarters.
Yep, we're here at Captain's Quarters today. It's me and Skaggs as usual. Doom Nation, thank you for returning as always. We had some pretty good views on our Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
was
Mr. B.
Yep, thank you, Mr. B, for coming out. It was a pretty fun night. Even though now the Giants are 0-2, so I guess it's full-blown Kansas City season.
And Saquon Barkley now has a
Yep.
torn ACL. And, Giants, as usual, 2020 undefeated, as we say.
Yeah, 2020 is undefeated.
And like we said at the end of the last podcast, if there's one thing that doesn't, feel out of the ordinary this year is that it's the Giants suck.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
everything-
We're at home every Sunday,
Yeah.
so it's all right. So as always, thank you guys for listening. Please make sure you subscribe and like us and share us. Little subscribe buttons at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So click on that and give us a like, and make your friends follow us on Instagram. We're almost at 1,000 followers, and that's our goal before the year's over, and we're definitely going to crush that for sure.
Without doubt.
So this week has offered us a lot to talk about. We got, Joe Biden saying 200 million people are going to die in 5 minutes. Yeah, you know what?
Cheers.
Talk about Joe Biden. Gotta crack open a beer.
Joe Biden could probably use a beer.
Yeah.
Right about now. Poor guy with them, they're making him go through.
Oh, yeah.
To be a puppet.
We got Ruth Bader. We got
rest in
TikTok.
peace.
Yes.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, unfortunately. We'll get to her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, let's start off. Skaggs over here, you did quite the amount of research. Ooh, that was loud. Quite the amount of research for TikTok and what's been going on with that.
So, yeah, I put out a poll the other day, as a lot of you guys saw on our Instagram. If you didn't, it's on there. And I put it out on Twitter also. And it was basically talking about the fact that Trump wants to ban TikTok in the United States. And it was really vague, the poll. It was, is this good or is this bad? And I left it vague on purpose because I wanted to just ask if it was good or bad.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss it here a little bit in depth. So since then, a lot of shit has happened, actually.
Which is crazy, too, because it's just an ongoing saga for, at this point, no reason now.
It's hard to turn these podcasts around sometimes before the news changes. By the time we are able to put this out, I wouldn't even be surprised if some new development happens and the whole thing changes here from my fucking notes that I have. Let's see. So, like we were saying, Trump wanted to ban TikTok, and the ban was supposed to be in place. Yeah, today's Monday, right?
Yep,
So it was supposed to be in place yesterday. That didn't happen now because of new developments. On Saturday, Magistrate Judge Laurel Beeler in California, what a fucking surprise, said that the government's actions would affect users' First Amendment rights, as an effective ban on the app would remove their platform for communication. So the ban has been halted for now.
Which, I know you're raring to go, but that threw me off that just one judge in California could, just bring this all to a screeching halt. I figured if they really were just going to be against Trump, where all the other judges, it really just, it took me, it made me step back and that's kind of odd that just one judge could put this all to a halt.
How funny is it that they're worried about free speech too? When they go, anybody says something wrong, not politically correct, they get canceled and kicked off Twitter, and you don't see any judge in forming an injunction to stop anything like that. Also on Saturday, Trump said that he would definitely support a proposed deal that would have TikTok partner with Oracle and Walmart, if you guys are familiar with those two companies, two big American companies, to form a U.S. version or company, basically to buy TikTok.
Which isn't a terrible idea.
There's still a chance that TikTok could be banned in the U.S. as of November 12th. The deal isn't completed under the restrictions put in place by the Commerce Department. So, our poll, it was just, is it good or bad? And majority of people said it was good, that it's going to be. And I was surprised. I was surprised. A majority of people said it was good that it was going to get banned. And that gives me a little bit of hope because
I feel like at least, so what I was really worried about with this whole thing, it's just, if whatever Trump does is just another bullet that, the establishment loads into the media to shoot at Trump, just like, the death of RBG. And with this TikTok and the way millennials are and the way Generation Z is and, just the polarization across America right now, something like TikTok, I could really see the media pushing it off as Trump's just a mean old man and he doesn't want you to dance on your phone anymore, where it's more of a thing like national security is what Trump's worried about. And it's funny, too, because now we're in a situation in the country where Orange Man is bad, so national security takes a back seat.
Right. So,
which is crazy.
So let's get into why, if for real, it's actually a good thing that it's going to get banned. So from the Trump administration itself, they have alleged that TikTok's a risk to national security because the app's owned by a Chinese parent company called ByteDance. The Trump administration has claimed that ByteDance could be required to hand over TikTok users' data to the Chinese government, compromising the safety and privacy of Americans. Why would we care, right? Let's be real. We're talking about a company that owns TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese company, right? China is not like the United States. China is a communist dictatorship. Mm-hmm. Let's compare China and President Xi to Hitler and Nazi Germany, for argument's sake. If there was such a thing as TikTok in 1942 or whatever, would Americans be comfortable letting Hitler possibly have all your data if they had that sort of technology back then? No, you wouldn't, because he's fucking Hitler, right? Let's be real. The Chinese government does not allow its citizens to have any sort of basic human rights. They don't have any freedom of speech. You know, like if you commit a crime, they'll just lob your head off. If you talk bad about President Xi, lob your head off, put you in fucking jail. They're basically committing, just like Nazi Germany did, fucking genocide against Muslim people.
Yep, they have actual slavery in China in concentration camps.
So why would you want a country like that to be mining your data, to be learning about Americans? Like, what makes us tick? What do we do? Because that's what these social media companies do. They're getting our data and they're seeing trends, right? If we allow China to have all that information, they're going to use that against us. And how are they going to use that against us, right? They're gonna like use it to further divide us, right? By using bots and stuff like that. And they're gonna, like I've seen in the past on Facebook, like Russian, agents will set up a Black Lives Matter protest on a Facebook event, and then across the street set up like a pro-Texan event.
Yeah, they're just making people fight.
Right, and they'll pretend they'll make a fake American user and pretend like that's the person who's organizing the thing. These countries want us to be divided. They want us to be arguing all the time. They want us to be at each other's throat. They want us to have a civil war.
They just got to wait.
Which is the road that we're going towards now, right? And social media is a big part of it, in my opinion, right? And why do they want that? Because that makes us weak, right? And the weaker the Western powers are, the weaker democracy in America is. As much as you might fucking hate it, as much as you might think America's a piece of shit place, it's way better than China, right? Yep. And you have the ability to fix things here. You don't have the ability to fix jack shit in China. So they want us to be weak. Why? Because the weaker we are, they can gain a bigger sphere of influence in the world, and they could push their ideas, they could push their agenda, they could push their pro-communist, they're not even really communist anymore. They're a dictatorship. They're a capitalist dictatorship that just calls themselves communist. They just do whatever the fuck President Xi does. Yeah. We don't want a regime that's parallel to the Nazi Hitler party.
And influencing us either.
Influencing us under... People are too naive to even understand that's going. A lot of... the poll said 81% of people said it was good. That's impressive that people... Maybe people...
thought it was like a good thing that TikTok is good and TikTok is bad.
Maybe. I also thought maybe people thought it was good to ban it because the videos are stupid and TikTok is stupid. And they're not thinking of like a social engineering, psychological attack on America, the way me and you are thinking about it, the way it really is. And then there's some people like, I like TikTok, it's funny and whatnot.
You could pick out, like, we could see who votes, and like you could go down the list of the people who were like, no, this is bad, and you're like, you just don't want to give up TikTok. You just don't want to give up TikTok. You're super liberal, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can almost point out what these people, how these people feel.
It's so funny because it's just like every other fucking thing. Yeah. I've seen a lot of my friends who are political, and I argue with all the time on Facebook. They fell right into party lines. My super liberal Democrat friends are attacking Trump, saying, First Amendment, freedom of speech. They're not even paying attention to the fact that this is a communist fucking dictatorship's possible way to make us fight each other, to get like to fuck us over.
Get a foothold in, in influencing us. That's, I was thinking of this the other day. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But, so let's take, COVID. So back in, we shared that video of Cuomo saying that this is all New York's fault. Trump waited until the mid-March to do something. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. Okay, but meanwhile, those 2 months prior, everybody is downplaying COVID. Everyone is telling you to go to Chinatown. Everyone's telling you to go out. Now, here's another situation where obviously most people and younger people are not worried about national security because even like us who have half a brain in their heads, we still can't even grasp the complex situation that national security, like, I'm sure if we were to sit in one meeting, I'm done. Let the world go you know what I mean?
Extremely complicated.
Yeah. So I have to believe that if not Trump, there is people in Trump's administration that do understand about national security. I won't even give Trump all the credit. You know what I mean? He definitely leans on other people for this.
He's being advised.
Right. But here we go again. Like, Trump sees something that could be a national threat to our national security. We need to oppose him. We want TikTok. And then eventually if something was to happen and it was to be linked somehow, and I don't know how, I don't, I'm not a magician, but if there was some type of attack or something changed and it was linked to like a TikTok infiltration, everybody would immediately change their tune and be like, this is Trump's fault. He didn't do nothing about it.
Yes, 100%. 100%. They would spin it around and say he didn't do anything. They play Monday morning quarterback when they were the ones lobbying against him doing something in the first place. And let me also make another point. If you don't understand politics and global politics and what communism even is or what China's even like, if you're a company in America, let's say, for example, like Apple. A few years ago, Apple had a scenario where there was a terrorist attack, and the shooter, it was in California, of this terrorist attack.
Oh, that back door they wanted?
Yeah. And they wanted, the FBI or whoever was investigating this attack wanted to get the phone opened. Like, they wanted a back door to get into this terrorist phone to read his text messages and whatnot. And they told Apple, like, make us a back door. And Apple said no. Yeah. Right? Because I
remember this.
Because once we do that, it's been done.
Pandora's box.
It's Pandora's box, and now the government could come and ask us for every single tiny thing and you know what I mean. The difference in America is that Apple has absolutely no obligation whatsoever to do that for the United States government because they are not one and the same. Yeah. They are two separate entities, and the government can't really overreach straight up.
Right.
If this was in China,
yeah,
the military is going to show up at Apple with guns and point them at Steve Jobs' head and say, open this guy's phone or I'm going to blow your fucking head off until a person who's going to do it.
We're going to go down the line.
Yeah. Down the line. And they're going to fucking do it. So ByteDance, which is a company based in China, is going to do whatever President Xi tells them to do. I don't want to hear, because they've had the defense, we don't do what the Chinese government tells us to do. We're separate. Get the fuck out of here. No. Like I said, if the Chinese military shows up at ByteDance's headquarters and tells their fucking their CEO, you need to give us American people's data, he's going to give it. Or he's going to lose his whole way of life. He's rich. He's got a nice life. He's not going to risk that.
They're going to take everything from him.
And if you don't believe that that's the case, let me tell you some proof.
You have proof?
I have proof of how it already is fucking basically proven that they have some sort of nefarious shit going on. So if you don't believe that they're tied to the Chinese government, on August 28th, 2020, the Chinese Ministry of Commerce and the Chinese Ministry of Science and Technology announced that any sale of ByteDance's technology to foreign firms is a matter of national security and would require prior approval. Why would they think it's a matter of national security?
If they got nothing to hide,
if they got nothing to hide. Why is it a matter of national security if ByteDance is not tied to the Chinese government? It's a matter of national security because I guarantee they are storing Americans' data. They have some sort of like think tank of how can we like cause disruption in America? How can we cause more division? They got smart motherfuckers, smarter than me and you, smarter than most of the people watching.
Not hard to do.
Trying to figure out how can they cause more division in America. There's, without doubt, we have our fucking problems here, right? But there is outside agitators, other countries that want to see us be fucked over and crumble and fail and be weak. And they are trying their fucking hardest 24/7. They don't stop ever to do that. And that's all I gotta say about TikTok.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, the one thing like I've really come into contact and learn about is people don't understand, like, especially in like 2020, in the past several years, that there's people out there willing to do violence to you. And it's not even you walk down the corner and you get mugged. It's, make America a person and make China a person. They're literally trying to figure out a way to get how to screw us over and shit like that
all the time. We're trying to screw them over. But
it's
you know what?
One big Game of Thrones.
Team fucking America right here. Don't we want to fucking win? We want our way of life. We can't have the Black Lives Matter debate if America is blown up by China. Go see if there's any Black Lives Matter debate happening in China right now. Yeah. There ain't at all.
There was some Hong Kong protests.
So you want to ensure America survives because we have a chance to make things better in America. You don't got no chance to make anything better.
We're the last stronghold
in China. We're not. We're like we're not the last stronghold because a lot of the European democracies and whatever are just like us. But we fucking forged the trail. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're the first ones.
And something also about TikTok, people need to realize, like, you remember something called MySpace with Tom? We all turned our back on that motherfucker. Tom didn't do any of this shit, all right? And for people to get, like, so upset over TikTok is complete and utter nonsense. Complete nonsense. Because at the end of the day, when you lose one social media platform, two will rise. It's like the Hydra Dragon. Like,
right. We also have multiple other ones. Yeah. We have Facebook, we have Snapchat, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. There's Minds. There's a million. There's shit that ones.
Like we don't even really. There's shit out there that isn't even popular yet that like me and you aren't even aware of. So like to be worried that you're gonna lose TikTok, trust me, something will replace it, and you won't even remember TikTok was a thing.
They're also similar too. Instagram came out with Reels, right? Isn't Reels basically exactly like... I don't have a TikTok, right? So I don't know. But Reels is like similar to TikTok.
I only recognized what Reels was like a few days ago, and I still don't know how to make one.
The social media technology is a copycat game to begin with, right? If TikTok gets banned, and I'm sorry if you guys, I know you're going to cry yourselves to bed at night, but Instagram will pick up the slack. Yeah. They'll pick up the slack. They'll make something like TikTok, just like they destroyed Vine and whatnot, It'll be all right. You'll be able to make your stupid videos dancing and whatever the fuck and cutting cheese with a Ritz cracker.
And if you're crying over TikTok, go look in the mirror and take a long, hard look at where your life has taken you, that you were this distressed about a little app on your phone when there's other little apps on your phone.
If in 30 years we are, being ruled by President Xi's son, you're gonna have second have second thoughts about
as he sends out his messages over TikTok.
Yeah, you'll have traded in TikTok for that.
Yeah.
So let's move on because I don't even want to fucking stay on TikTok forever. But I know you got a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, man. I did some research today. First off, my buddy Como. Shout out to the people in Brooklyn. They were having on Saturday. They were having a small business owners protest. It was kind of like a block party. And around 1 o'clock in the morning, they took a lot of yellow paint, and down North 15th Street in Brooklyn, they wrote, "Fuck Como and de Blasio."
Cheers.
Boys, thank you for doing that. Brighten up my day. Of course, it was painted over within 24 hours. Apparently, the police and the people who painted it over had a very good chuckle and took plenty of pictures laughing their asses off before they had to paint this. So I just wanted to shout you small business owners. We support you. We believe you guys should be opening up.
Yeah, you want to talk about First Amendment, freedom of speech? That's it right there. And it got painted over. And I don't see the California judge placing a fucking injunction to stop New York City from painting over that or cleaning it up.
De Blasio specifically painted Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Towers and didn't get any of the proper paperwork or anything that he needed.
He don't need any of that.
Well, of course, but above the law. So, all right, let's see. So something we spoke about briefly. So I got my big Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing here, but a little other side note. Joe Biden again dropped a fantastic line. Did you see that last speech of his?
No.
I don't know if it was his very
Despacito or
no. Oh man, I didn't even bring up Despacito. That was
bizarre.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the video, we'll probably post a little link for it or something. He was in Florida, and it's like Latin Pride Month or something. What was the month?
It was like I'm not sure, but I know it was like a rally based, around him garnering more Latino support, voters and whatnot.
So that he was looking for the Latino vote, and he was late to the podium. They like announced him, and it was like 15, 20 seconds before he even peeked his head out.
Even longer.
Yeah.
Like a minute almost.
And then he walked out, and like he thought like he was so slick. Like there's a meme of the Impractical Jokers. Like, all right, now play Despacito and don't say anything. Just stand there and smile. And he's just what he thought he was doing was insane.
Maybe
like,
he was on Impractical Jokers, and that's like the next season.
I have to believe it at this point because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to accomplish with this.
I don't know either. And what what's even more sad is that like he won't be asked about it.
Yeah, that's my new thing. Like, listen, even if you softball it to him, like you got to follow up with some of this shit. Like you can't just
his press pool that follows him is a bunch of fucking shills. They don't ask him any hard questions. They didn't ask him about that. They didn't ask him about when the proposal to go on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yep.
I retweeted like, what's the outcome, like what's going to happen, and I voted for in like a poll. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
No one's even going to mention it to him, and that's exactly what happened. They just ignored it.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, it's pathetic that the press pool doesn't ask interesting questions to the guy.
Yeah.
Like they're working lockstep with him. Yeah.
Well, every time Trump's press secretary will come out, she'll announce something crazy like the peace treaties Trump signed, which we need to have an episode about and talk like with the peace treaties between the Middle East, or somebody will be found guilty or something big will happen, and she'll announce it and she'll look out and not a single hand will raise because it's not.
Don't care.
Yeah,
Don't care.
It's either Orange Man, COVID, or Black Lives Matter. Now RBG. So there's only those few talking points. But Biden gets up there and he's going on about COVID, and he says 200 million people will die from COVID by the end of this speech. 200 million people will die from COVID before this speech is up. I just don't get it anymore. Who's believing this crap? Why does Joe Biden continuously, when it comes to numbers, he botches it every time? AR-14s,
He said that gun violence killed like 300 million people.
Yeah. So between gun violence and COVID, the
Everyone's
human
dead.
race is extinct almost. You know what I mean? Like
Every American, including himself, is dead.
Yeah, he's the only American left. What are my other questions? Where does he get these numbers? What are the actual statistics that he's trying to give us? Like, you know what I mean? Like fine, you don't want to like follow up and ask him these, but I want to know like what statistics were you shooting for? Clearly, you missed the mark.
I'll play devil's advocate. He said 200 million people.
Yeah.
By the time he's done with the speech, he's Joe Biden. He misspeaks all the time. He says the wrong shit. He might have meant 200,000 people because we just, I think, got up to that number of COVID deaths. He might have meant 200,000 people. Maybe. Well, but but yes, maybe he's saying 200 million people trying to scare people.
Yeah.
Maybe he's using like, oh, it's just Joe and he's just old and wrong. You know what I mean? But some people are gonna be like, ah.
That's what I want to know too. Who's buying this crap now? Like, if 200 million people were dying, like CNN would be blowing up about this right now. They have the little counter on the website. Like, it's not anywhere near 200 million people, clearly, even worldwide. You know what I mean? It just, where are you getting these numbers from? Like, at least just correct yourself, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, why don't they have like a microphone in his ear and be like, Joe, it's 200,000, not 200 million. Like, help the guy out. Shit.
And then the other thing is, where are the fact checkers? Fact checkers came out and they nail everybody, but I only ever see fact checkers on Republican pages. I don't see anything coming out for anything that a Democrat drops anywhere. How can you say, because we've read some funny fact checks before where like, well, this is mostly true, but this little sentence made this false, so the whole thing's false now. How can Biden get away with giving a number like this and there's no fact checkers saying anything?
Yeah, that's what it ties into what I was saying before, that his press pool is fucking pathetic. They don't challenge him on everything. They need to do better. Look, we know that they press Trump on every little fucking thing. And you know what? They should, because he's the president. You know what I mean? But Joe Biden might be the president too. You got to challenge him on things. You got to do better. And they're not, because he's not Trump. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So
if it was Bernie Sanders running it, damn sure they would be fucking challenging him on every single thing.
If he said 200 million people were dying, they'd probably hang him to dry. Like, I could only imagine what they would pull with him. Yeah. It'd be just as bad as what they do to Trump.
What else you got over there?
Well, the last little tidbit I'm going to save for later because that's kind of a fun one. It'll tie into Ruth over here. So, unfortunately, what was it, Saturday?
Yes.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away. She's had cancer for quite some time now. She's been in and out of rehab, in and out of the hospital. She really hasn't been in the public sight, the public eye for quite some time. That brought up a lot of conspiracy stuff, but like I wanted to do some research and not get into the conspiracies. So my big issue with this is
let's say first, like, God bless, man.
Yeah.
She lived a long life.
Yep.
She did accomplish a lot.
She was a trend-setting trailblazer.
You know?
Absolutely. We lost somebody that we'll never see the likes of again. That's for sure.
Everybody's gonna die at some point, and it's sad, but if you're gonna live a life, that's the kind of life you want to live.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go out, that's the way you want to go out. You lived a long, productive, wholesome life, and you accomplished a lot. You've like affected a lot of people for the better. God bless.
She straight up did change the world, and not that we, or I, or I'm sure there's stuff that you wouldn't too, that we agree with her on everything. But the issue I really have with it, and I didn't try and go with the conspiracies because right away a lot of people believe that she's been gone for months or weeks now. There's been a lot of conspiracy about that, but it's almost like offended me, like what I'm seeing in the media. It's crazy. I texted you about this earlier because like this trendsetter, this amazing woman in politics that has done way more than Biden and Trump has died, and right away, the media is loading up the gun to shoot this shit at Trump. And it's really getting out of control. The woman's only been, gone for a few days.
And her funeral yet, I don't
yeah,
think.
And here we are, literally. Where was it? What was this guy's name? Oh, here we go.
Reza Aslan.
Yep, Reza Aslan, a writer, a commentator, a professor, and a producer. He tweeted, "If they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire fucking thing to the ground." A threat. Right away when this amazing Supreme Court judge passed away. Are you kidding me? Can we have some respect? I read so many articles today to come up and give you guys information about Trump's nominees and what's going to happen next and about Ruth and herself. And not a single fucking article in the media paid any, respects, or they just did Ruth dirty as far as I'm concerned. It's all Ruth died and this is how we're gonna fuck Trump. Nothing about her great accomplishments. Ruth, she was very big on women's rights, civil rights, and equality. That's something that Black Lives Matter is fighting for every day.
And you mean celebrating it.
Yeah. And you mean to tell me on every one of these liberal news networks and the mainstream media, nobody's going to bring that shit up? You're only worried about what Trump's going to do next? Show some fucking respect. My God.
Can't we wait, until after she's at least had her funeral and been buried before we... And I knew it was going to... I texted as soon as she passed away. I was like, this is going to be the next, circus and battle. And I knew they weren't going to give her the respect she deserved.
Which is disgusting.
From both sides. Because Mitch McConnell, too, as soon as she died, he fucking put out, no, there'll be another justice confirmed.
Yep.
I mean, dude, her body's not even fucking cold yet.
Yeah.
Give him a chance. My God,
this disgusting.
This is our society, bro. You can't even die in peace anymore.
What about the video of that woman screaming that I sent to everybody? It was pretty funny to watch, but to post a video of you screaming at the top of your lungs. So now not only do we have politicians not even waiting for the body to be cold, as you'd say, to, already start problems, you have followers, and they did have a very nice candlelit vigil down in Washington, I think all day Sunday or something like that.
Yeah, we're not talking about everybody, but the major media.
Yeah, basically the mainstream media is to blame, because even on social media, this one woman posted the video of her screaming, "Oh my God, you guys, 2020 fucking sucks. Ruth, all you had to do was make it to 2021. Oh, okay, yeah. Ruth has to continue working to appease you. First off, I believe Ruth maybe should have retired a while ago. I understand, unfortunately, the way, and I'm not going to say Ruth is establishment. I have no evidence of that. But, obviously this shadow government works a certain way. And clearly Ruth stayed in her seat just so Trump wouldn't get another.
Probably.
Which
fair,
sucks.
Fair,
yeah.
let me say.
Which sucks because here's this much older woman who's given it her all and now had to die in that seat. She didn't get to retire, and I'm sure her personal life was great because all those politicians get plenty of time off and buckets of money. So I'm sure she had a very wholesome life. But to die in that seat because the mean orange man's in the Oval Office, what a you're not going out like Derek Jeter, the way he did at Yankee Stadium. You're not going out on top. I'm sorry. And to see the media act this way is just disgusting. So,
yeah, I know what you mean. It's also a little bit maybe it's a little respectable too because she didn't agree with Trump and she fucking held her guns to the end.
Yeah,
stay in her seat till the day she died.
Strong individual.
She didn't agree with them and she didn't want to give up her seat. I mean that's respectable. Even if you disagree with that, it's respectable.
So and then the other thing though is, if everybody was didn't want her to leave and there was this much of worry, she could have retired under Obama whenever she wanted, and Obama could have put in anyone.
That's
and
a good point.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. Obviously because Obama had that in his last 6 months maybe or something like that of his presidency that Scalia died.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact date, but she could have retired right then and there. And Obama would have ended up with 2 Supreme Court picks, and Trump would have never gotten that opportunity.
He wouldn't have because they blocked it. They blocked the replacements anyway, which we're going to get into. And I have a feeling me and you are going to have disagreement finally. Over that whole thing. But go ahead, keep going.
I could tell you right now, I don't give a shit what the GOP did to Obama. After what they put Brett Kavanaugh through, they took an innocent man. They brought him to trial with false accusations of rape and sexual assault, and nothing came of it. He was found innocent. You took an innocent man and dragged his name and his family through the fucking mud. We owe you people nothing. Nothing. I really, I don't know the whole deal of when the GOP blocked Obama, and I'm glad to, get your perspective on this as well. But I don't give a shit. This isn't Obama. This isn't the Obama administration. This isn't 2016. I don't care. I don't care what we did last time. I only care about what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll say flat out, the Republicans, Mitch McConnell, straight out hypocrites. That's my opinion, right? Why? Because when Scalia died and Obama was president, he was a lame duck president, whatever. It was his right to nominate. It was Obama's right during that time to nominate another Supreme Court justice, which he nominated Merrick Garland. And just to point out, Merrick Garland was actually very centrist. He was down the line, not liberal, not conservative, really. He was just Obama kind of like threw a guy in there that was down the middle.
Right.
And the Republicans said, nope. We're not going to even have a hearing for him. We're not going to sit down with them. We're not doing it in a lame duck session. The people are going to have to choose the president, and then the next president, whoever wins, whether it be Hillary or Trump, will get to, the people will have a say in the Supreme Court decision because they, by proxy, voted for the president who will then choose that person,
Right.
And the Republicans held fucking firm, and Garland didn't get one meeting with anybody. This is the exact same situation.
Yes, it is.
Exact.
Yep.
It's actually even worse because it's worse because the election's only 40 fucking days away,
and not months away.
7-8 months away like it was back then with Obama, right? So for them to say, nope, we're gonna ramrod our fucking guy through and put him in there. I know what you're saying about Brett Kavanaugh. They did treat him like shit, but apples and oranges. It has nothing to do with this. That's political gamesmanship. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you know what? I understand what the Republicans are saying. It's all right. We have the majority, and the president gets to nominate a Supreme Court justice. Yeah, but you know what? You're still fucking hypocrites because when the foot was on the other shoe, you blocked it. Now because the foot's on your shoe, no. House of Hypocrites, like our other episode, right? They're just gonna put them through. You can't have it both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's what they're doing.
You can't, and it does. It does get sticky. A part of it, the only difference that I see is, Obama didn't have a chance of becoming president again, where Trump's up for re-election. That, I feel, it makes the situation a little bit different, but it does not take the hypocrisy out of it at all. The part that...
Let me point out that Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, had a tape back then saying, "Oh, you could pull the tape in 2020. You pull the tape. If this happens in 2020, I won't press forward the like before the election, press forward the." He literally said, "Pull the tape." Well, bro, people pulled the tape, and you said it. And now you're saying, no. Let's push them through. Let's push them through. You're on camera being a fucking hypocrite, and then you're still being a hypocrite. These people don't have any standards, or they're not honorable, any of them. No. Every fucking motherfucker in Washington is not honorable whatsoever.
No backbone.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, where were we going with this? So they basically, the way I feel it in my own biased way, and it makes me kind of smile and laugh, is that the Republicans really are just playing the Democrats' game now. They're hitting them with their own playbook, because if the shoe was on the other foot in it, particularly right now, today, not back when Obama was, forget what happened with Obama. 'Cause right now, if, Hillary was in office and, this exact situation played out, and Ruth probably would have retired under Hillary anyway, yes. 4 years ago, which fine. But let's, just turn the tables. The Democrats would be trying to push this through right away as well. They'd be playing the same guy.
I'm not saying they would.
Yeah. So the one thing that I looked up, and this is something that I learned about within the past few days, so I'm not any expert on it, is the nuclear option. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
So it came about in 2013, I believe, yeah. So voted for by Democrats in 2013. So basically what the nuclear option does is it takes away, it gives the majority the right to just steamroll a filibuster by if the minority hold a filibuster on a vote, the majority could just steamroll that for the nuclear option and push through it.
Not familiar what a filibuster is, it's when Congress is voting on a law or something. A filibuster literally is a guy gets up, and when it's, say, whatever Senator ABC, when it's his turn to talk, he will fucking stand there and talk forever. Mm-hmm. And I mean forever, if he could physically make it to talk for weeks, he could talk for weeks, and that will hold up.
Yep, and then they don't get to
voting
vote
on the thing, and then they won't be able to vote on it. It's just like a strategy,
right?
Like Bernie Sanders has done it. I think he might have held the record. He might have done it for 2 or 3 straight days. There's another guy who's famous for reading his mom's cookbook.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you're saying, as long as you're talking, you're blocking the vote from happening. So the nuclear option is trying to get rid of that.
So it has. So with filibusters too, there's an episode of Parks and Recreation where Leslie Knope actually holds a filibuster on a city council meeting. But so I don't know where the idea of it came from, but it originated through the Democratic Party, and they voted in 2013 to use the nuclear option to steamroll whatever vote they wanted for. But back in 2013, it did not cover the Supreme Court. Then in 2016, Mitch McConnell extended it to the Supreme Court. So when you're voting on X, Y, and Z, you could use the nuclear option. And then in 2016, Mitch McConnell fucking made sure that you could do it to the Supreme Court as well.
Like nominating a Supreme Court justice, you can now filibuster that?
No. So you were allowed. No, so you are allowed to filibuster the vote on a Supreme Court justice, but with the nuclear option that basically Republicans pushed through in 2016, takes away the minority's ability to filibuster even for a Supreme Court justice now.
So theoretically, the Democrats can't filibuster voting on Trump's.
Right. So, but the main issue is if we do go to vote, and I have 3 names of the short list of Trump's short list, and so if one of them was to go and, if Trump was to pick one and then they were to go and vote and they were going to try and do a filibuster, as long as the Republicans have the votes and, then the majority have the votes, then they don't need to worry about the minority. And this way the minority can't use the filibuster on this vote anymore.
Yeah, I understand.
But if the Republicans don't have the vote, you're fucked. you shoot yourself in the foot then.
Wait, so if the Republicans don't have the amount of votes, required,
right,
they could be filibustered?
Yes. Then you can't use the nuclear option anymore, I believe.
Man, it's so complicated.
Yeah, it's very...
I get it, but it is complicated.
So it was started by Democrats, it was advanced by Republicans, and now it's something that we're probably going to hear a lot of in the next couple of days, because it's going to be a tool to just steamroll this and get it in.
Right.
So
just a little fun fact: I found out what the longest filibuster is, and the record goes to South Carolina's J. Strom Thurmond, who filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act. Nice guy.
Oh, okay, good.
Nice guy.
Yep. Champion of the people, clearly.
Full day, just talking about trying to block the Civil Rights Act. Nice guy.
Naming colors and numbers. Good guy. So, what do you want to hear? Some of the names of the short list, or some good old quotes from other fun Democrats about hypocrisy?
Who is it possible that Trump is going to choose?
All right,
to be,
so.
You know anything about these people too?
No, there are a lot of them in the circuit courts. There are a lot of judges in the circuit courts.
So
the top three are all women, and one of them's Cuban. So that's the one I'm rooting for.
This ain't going to go well for the Democrats'
because
narrative.
I'm really I want her just because I really want the Democrats to fight against a female Latino. I really want to see what they could come up with to make themselves look even stupider. You know what I mean?
They will.
Yeah. So we got Judge Amy Coney Barrett, Judge Barbara Loga, yeah, she must be I think she's the Cuban woman.
Who's the Cuban
one? Logoa.
What's her first name?
Barbara, Judge Barbara Loga. I'm probably butchering that. I'm sorry, everybody.
Loga.
Please don't hate me.
Who is Barbara Loga? Go ahead.
And then the last one I have is Judge Allison Jones Rushing.
Okay.
And those are the only three I have. Those are the top three, I believe, of his short list. I think there's only about 5 of them. But these are the 3 that he is looking at, and we could possibly... there could possibly be a announcement by Wednesday or Thursday.
I think he said he was a week.
And then he's also, which also sounds extremely quick for me. And, everything's been moving so fast. It's ridiculous. There could also be some sort of vote or announcement on Saturday as well. So look out for Wednesday and the weekend for some new news about the possible next Supreme Court justice being nominated. So who's this that you have up?
I was just looking up. Sorry about that. That was a Joe Biden ad, of course. Again, Joe Biden fucking with our podcast, just like he did on Monday Night Football. Yeah, she's from Florida, Barbara Loga, and let's see. I mean, she's from Florida. She was appointed by Jeb Bush. I'm gonna lean towards she's probably conservative.
They all are, 100% all are.
Approve. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, that doesn't mean you're not qualified, I'm assuming Trump is going to put somebody who's...
he's definitely going to vet everybody.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, I'm sure he's going to put somebody who's, like, conservative in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like principle, the Supreme Court justices shouldn't be biased. Like, they should... like we shouldn't be picking people who are conservative or liberal. They should just be people who are, are going to hear every case,
right,
and just take that case on its own merits. So maybe most of them do. I don't know. But I don't.
Right now,
it's not human nature.
Yeah, no. Right now, we are literally living through Game of Thrones, and they're just cherry picking people to put in the spot in power that they need to have in power. Yeah. That's all it comes down to, 100%. And I'm not saying any of these women are establishment or corrupt. I truly don't know much about them. I'm happy to learn more about them, but right now it's just you're going to be on my side, so you go in. So a few quotes that came about all this, because there's we could probably do a whole podcast, like a podcast series on hypocrisy. So I got So I got a couple of quotes with everybody right away is, and we need to get into after this. I think we need to get into how violent the left has become. I mean, it has really come down to threatening America and the president and anything that they can get their hands on if they don't get their way. Mm-hmm. It's truly out of control. So anyway, Biden in 2016 The president has the constitutional duty to nominate. The Senate has the constitutional obligation to provide advice and consent. Ruth Bader Ginsburg in 2016, that's their job. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president stops being the president in his last year. This was in reference to Obama. When the GOP blocked. Yeah. And then Schumer in 2016 tweeted, and this tweet's been popping up. It really hasn't aged well for him. The Senate has confirmed 17 Supreme Court justices in a presidential election year. # do your job. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, there's hypocrisy on both sides. You brought up Lindsey Graham. I bring up Biden, Ruth, and Schumer. All had a different opinion when their guy was in office.
But I'll say that those quotes are kind of out of context because those were things that they said in 2016. That was the first instance of this sort of situation happening, right? And then they were making the argument like, why can't Obama nominate his guy? He's still the president. Mm-hmm. And it was the Republicans who said, no, we have to wait until after the election because the people have to have a say. Like, they give a flying fuck about what the people have to say.
We have a political podcast. I can't name all the Supreme Court justices.
How can you blame the Democrats now for calling out the Republicans for saying, well, last time you guys made up this new fucking rule that we can't nominate a justice before the election, but now because you're in charge, now we can. I'm not trying to defend the Democrats, but that's their point. Their point is, you guys made up this new rule last time to fuck us over, and now the fact that the foot's on the other shoe, you don't want to follow the new rule you made up. I hate Chuck Schumer, but I'm on his side on this one.
I just feel each other's playing each other's playbook now. Mm-hmm. The Democrats have taken on the Republican playbook, and the Republicans have taken on the Democratic playbook.
While we do this, nothing's getting better for black people. The infrastructure is falling apart. There's no plan to get rid of coronavirus. They're just playing political games. They're not actually accomplishing anything whatsoever. The only person accomplishing things is Trump. Yeah. Right? I don't like him still. Still don't like him. But he's the peace deal and whatever, but Congress is so fucking broken. Mm-hmm. They can't get anything done whatsoever, man. The whole purpose of their existence is to do shit that makes the country better. Not to their purpose has become to fist fight each other all day long.
Ask yourself,
that's
why
the MMA. That's UFC. Yeah. We don't need Congress to do that.
Why did it take an outsider like Trump to start these peace treaties in the Middle East? You really think, Biden can do, Biden was in office for 8 years. Biden was in office for 40 some odd years before he was in the VP seat. Why was it an outsider that had no political ties to anybody starting to broker the deal for the peace in the Middle East?
Because the system is broken, and they don't have any.
They never tried. They made more money. Yeah, it was better to be at war. You got to look at the corruption, look past the orange man, and see that this outsider fucking went against the grain and is now trying to broker peace. Will it stay? I don't know. If it doesn't, it'll be his fault, of course. But it has taken decades to just start this conversation, and Trump's moving it along like that. It's crazy.
I'll give him credit for that. Yeah. He's tried. Mm-hmm. You might hate him, and you might be have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, a lot of people have that. Do.
Yeah, people can't separate issues individually. Which I try to do with every president. I criticize Obama as much as I liked Obama. Because. First of all, there's never going to be one guy or girl you're going to agree. I mean, maybe some people, right? But for the most part, you're never going to agree with every fucking thing someone has to say, right? It's impossible because there are billions of issues, right? And
billions of opinions.
You can't make everybody happy, the thought that one person is somehow responsible for all those things is retarded in general. Like the fact that the Magic King can fix everybody's problems, one person, it doesn't even make any sense. But you can't look at it as all bad or all good. I don't like Trump, but he does do good things. You know what I mean? And I will give him credit for certain good things, and I will call him out on bad things. I thought what he was trying to do with Kim Jong-un, don't worry about that. I thought he was trying to do with Kim Jong-un and with this peace process is good, but I feel like the fact that he has absolutely no priority whatsoever to address climate change is bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just the way I see it. Overall, I don't like him, but I try and take the positives where I can.
Yeah, you go throughout the policy where people just, your name is tied. That's how cancel culture has all its power. Just because, celebrity A, likes, this particular thing that a few people don't like. Oh, you're a bad guy right away. You're a bad guy right away. But wait a minute, Celebrity A has been donating to all these charities that you would agree with. Celebrity A has been making appearances for sick children, and Celebrity A is saving the rainforest. Whatever they're doing, there's probably a million things that their name is tagged to that you agree with them with. But because you learned about one little thing that you don't agree with, cancel, fuck you. And it's not like that across the board, ever. Not. It's never like that. Even crazy Democratic politicians, fucking redneck Republican politicians, it's never like that.
Yeah. If we just cancel everything, nothing ever gets done.
Yeah.
It's just everything is canceled, and we'll just be fucking, Stone Age people hitting fucking, flints.
At this point, we might as well go back to that because that's how smart people are now. So I wanted to get your perspective. I don't know how aware of everything on it you are, but just the threats coming from the left from the election night all the way up till now with Ruth passing away and Trump getting the threats are out of control.
I'm in the Twitterverse,
yeah.
So
I brought this up about fuckhead Cuomo. Sorry, yeah, forgot your dumb name. I brought this up when he threatened Trump, saying he needs an army to come through and stuff. But like to say we're gonna burn it to the ground if you pick a new Supreme Court justice, that that on election night there's gonna be riots and stuff if Trump went. This is what the Nazis did. They intimidated through violence. They intimidated by destroying anyone who went against their opinion. Like, this is becoming more of a Nazi regime than anything else, to be honest with you. And Trump's not even running that part of it. Trump, the Nazi, is not even running the new Nazi party. It's ridiculous. So what was some of the threats you've seen that, or what do you think about it?
I saw the Reza Aslan one.
Yep.
And,
which came out like that.
Yeah. His was just egregious. That's why, like, a lot of people... I saw stuff from Cenk Uygur, who's like the Young Turks guy, saying, calling out the Democrats, saying like there's no way. Similar, I don't remember specifics, but like a lot of the super left talking heads are up in arms about it. You know what I mean? I mean, to an extent, I understand why, because a lot of these super liberal talking heads feel like the Democrats are too pussy and soft and give in to the Republicans all the time, which sometimes they do. Sometimes the Democrats are a little bit too soft and give in sometimes to certain to Republican things. So I get it, but my take on this whole thing is like, that's not going to help. That's not going to make the situation better. Nope. Like our society for the most part, the general populace does not hate each other as much as they think they do. Right. But like, all these people who are on Twitter or like have a lot of followers or are on the news or whatever, they're just making things worse. No one's taking a step back and be like, all right, let me go talk to someone on the other side and let's try and work this out.
Oh, like what we're doing now?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Everyone is just pointing fucking guns at each other, metaphorically, and we're gonna have a civil war at some point, right? Because people are dumb. I heard this very interesting thing about the silent majority. Why, like, the silent majority, there is a silent majority, right? And I'm not trying to say that the silent majority is like all people who are going to vote for Trump. There's a lot of people who just like, they're tired of this shit, but they don't say nothing, and like whatever happens, they're just gonna go along with it, and they're not gonna fight back. Like, you have to do like me and this guy are doing. You don't have to have a podcast, but like you should talk to people that you don't agree with, and like
get
if
perspectives.
Something happens that you don't agree with, don't just stay silent. Say something.
Yeah.
If someone accuses you of being racist, you shouldn't just be like, I'm not a racist, No, you should scream from the fucking mountaintop. Are you out of your mind? Like, the people, I've been thinking a lot about, how these people sitting at restaurants and then the Black Lives Matter people come up to them, and I've been thinking about, like, if I ever got caught in that situation, like, what would I do? And I heard it's like you can't just do what they want. You could be like, listen, I agree with you, but I'm not going to sit here and be cowed by the mob because you are not my fucking boss. You're just another random person screaming in my face.
And then you run the risk of them breaking your head off.
Yeah, you do. So. But there's more people that are in the silent majority than there are those people screaming, on the street. You can't just we can't be silent about shit that we don't like. We need to live in peace and harmony. As gay as that might fucking sound, but we're not gonna get to it by screaming at each other and forcing each other to fucking kneel or put up a fist or whatever.
See, I'm the exact opposite way. If I put my fist up to let me finish dinner, okay, good. Now go away and let me finish my dinner. But the problem is the silent majority is the silent majority now because of the violence and the danger. You just because you're a business owner, you don't even need to be a Trump supporter business owner. If you try to stop looters from looting your business, they'll put you in the hospital if they don't fucking kill you. You've seen when the riots first broke out, there was that business owner who was getting pummeled in the head by skateboards. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with when you're at a restaurant and the mob shows up. If you're the only one making noise, the whole mob's going to come down on you. And then it ain't worth getting to become a martyr for these idiots. It's not worth it.
It's scary. You don't want to die. It is. You don't want to get beat up.
Dude, it's super violent. And to be honest with you, I don't care if this sounds biased. The Democratic Party is pushing this. It was a huge thing that, if Trump doesn't, accept the results of the election, America's going to fail as we know it. When Hillary wins, we need to know Trump's going to concede and all this stuff. And then right away, now here we are coming 2020, and Hillary and Nancy are out there saying we're going to fumigate the White House. We're going to drag him out of the White House. But Joe Biden needs to contest the election. No matter, as long as if Joe Biden does not win, he will contest the election. So now right away, we're causing this issue right there. And then right now, rioting is such, and vandalism is up. Crime is up. There's no police. Minneapolis, you are so stupid. Your city council unanimously voted to defund the police. And I think
not even to defund, right? To disband.
Yes. And now the entire city council of Minneapolis has voted unanimously for the disbandment of their police force. And now crime is so bad, they are dumbfounded and shocked that this could be happening. And they're wondering, where are the police? For people that stupid, remember The Walking Dead when Negan killed Glenn? Yeah, sorry if that's a spoiler, but that's what needs to happen to people that stupid. You can't fix that type of stupid.
The fact that people like that are in charge.
Yeah, are in charge of even a city council.
Disheartening.
We could get on a city council. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is ridiculous. So right now, between bail reform and then also all these organizations that literally donate money to pay bail for protesters' bails so they could get out. So you could get arrested for arson or whatever, burning a cop car. And there's just some little organization that'd be like, oh, we'll get you out. You know what I mean? There's no cops. There's no consequences. So, of course, if Biden loses, we're all like, we're fucked. Like, the streets are going to be ablaze. Like,
if Biden loses?
Yeah. If Trump wins, fuck it. Like, they're gonna kick off the Civil War the best they can.
No matter what, there's no good outcome, which is terrible because, like, it shows how bad both of these choices are. As much as you like Trump, no matter what, there's going to be something bad. If Trump wins, people are going to be mad and they're going to want to burn the fucking place down. If Biden wins, then he's going to nurture this, like mob mentality of mob rule and, get rid of the cops. And as much as he's saying that he's not, he is. He's going to pander to that and that narrative that all the fucking media is going to push. And we're going to get there, just in the long run, in a few years.
It's
and then where do we go from there? Then we'll be so after his 4 years, we'll be so mad that that's going on. The next candidate's going to come back and be like, we're going to bring the fucking military in and put down the mob. It's just going to be nothing but just battle after battle. And
to be honest, I think if Trump wins on November 3rd, let's take out of all the mail-in voting that is obviously going to come back for Biden. In his favor. I really, really think that, Trump is your president, and Trump's gonna like just get on the phone and be like, send in the National Guard. I can't see like any other way. The amount of damage that probably will be caused would bankrupt cities that aren't even bankrupt yet.
I could see it. I could see. Say without a doubt, he's won the election. I already said that that's how a civil war happens. Both sides are contesting, and we get past the inauguration day, and there's no clear winner.
Yeah.
And both sides say that they're president, and then both sides give orders to the military to do something.
Right.
Who does the military follow? Because the military is going to decide at the end of the day who's the president. But
that's something that I was curious about too on another podcast. I think I brought it up briefly. Like, you know, we still have to January 21st. You know what I'm saying?
After, right?
Yeah. So like. I mean, technically, even if, you know, Biden contests it, this is also something that I'm really worried about because America, you make me question you all. You need to understand that if Trump loses on November 3rd, and it's a possibility, you also need to understand it's a possibility he could win. But if Trump loses on November 3rd, we don't rip him out of the house, the White House.
November 4th.
Yeah, 12:01, November 4th. January 21st. Yeah.
It's like 20th, 21st.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Middle to end of January when there is Trump will still be the president till January. Get it through your thick heads.
How do you think that'll go? If say Trump loses and he actually does concede, it's like obvious that he lost. And now usually that whole thing, like remember when he won and he went there and Obama showed him in. They walked out together. Obama leaves. Like they were somewhat cordial. Like is that going to be cordial at all between him and Joe Biden and Trump? I can't see Trump leaving. I can see Trump being like, I can see Trump as like cutting the phone lines on his way out.
I think Trump will have a lot to say. I think I would
he did say if he loses, you're not gonna hear from him ever again.
Well, I mean, that's probably for his own safety, but I feel like Trump would at least try to extend the olive branch, and here comes the biased backhand. I think in that scenario, the one to fuck it up would be Biden, because things would be so polarized by then. And Biden's an establishment lackey. We know that. You're just a shell. There's no secret to that. We know you bow to the mob because you're weak like that. And the mob is not going to want him to be nice to Trump or cordial to Trump. And I could really see the Democratic Party dropping the ball on that half. I could see maybe Trump gives one little, but also with Trump, though, it's going to be a backhanded, passive aggressive, like, yeah, come to the White House so I could show your dumbass around or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to invite him, but he's going to say something.
Maybe he'll surprise everybody.
He's been surprising everybody all along. Nobody recognizes that, though. Yeah. So I got a few more notes. You want to go through those?
Go for it.
All right. So back to the mainstream media. You guys are disgusting people. I even went to CNN's website today to try and read and learn about the upcoming Supreme Court pick and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And CNN had a story headline saying RBG's death should terrify Trump. I didn't even read a word of this. You're not divisive. You're not biased. What? This powerhouse of a woman just passed away, and the best headline you could come up with for the second woman to ever sit on the Supreme Court justice, for this woman who fought for civil rights until the day she died, this is the best headline you could come up with just to shit on Trump. It's ridiculous.
But it's not even right either, because there was a video of Trump when he was told that
upset.
she died, and he was actually really nice about it. He was like, oh, like I didn't know. He was in the middle of giving a campaign rally speech when she died. So when he was walking out, somebody mentioned it to him, and he said a lot of nice things about him. So he wasn't fucking scared that she died.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
So now we'll get into a little bit conspiracy stuff, but I didn't do any real research linking.
So this is more opinion than fact.
Yes, now we're getting into opinions. I specifically didn't bother with any of the conspiracy pages for Ruth. I don't care if they're real. She's gone. She, in my book, even though I probably would have disagreed with her on a lot of issues, in my book, she's done more than a lot of people have needed to do. You know, if there was more people like her putting in this work, we might not be where we are.
Place.
Yeah. But the one thing that really, really irks me and I question, and it's 100% a little talking point, is how convenient, and I always say there's no coincidences and question everything, how convenient is it that her final wish or her final, you know, I don't think it was her last words, because if this was her last words, this is definitely fake then. And it's disgusting that, like, this is, like, what the media, like, hangs on to. Yeah. And so you probably already know the line. Yeah. It's, let me see.
Lay it all on the table.
Blah, blah, blah. My most fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed. I'm sorry. That is bullshit. That is a mainstream media makeup. First off, where in the Constitution does it say that if the dying Supreme Court justice final wish was to wait until there's a new president? There's no rule in that. Secondly, it's just playing on people's heartstrings.
Yes.
Third, there is zero proof that she said this. We don't need to follow that, number one, because I can promise you, if a Republican, you know, justice had died and we were trying to get a Democrat in there and his final wishes were, oh, don't replace me until there's a new president, the answer would be fuck you. So you got that. But then this whole until a new president is installed is such nonsense. The whole the whole Democratic Party really, like, would make you believe that, like, Donald Trump doesn't have a chance of winning. Like, he didn't have a chance last time and he showed you differently. Like,
you know what's weird about the quote, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more deeply? Until a new president is installed. Yeah. A more accurate line would have been until the election is over.
Yes. Thank you.
It's almost like they were saying she, you know, wants Biden to win. And I don't know. Maybe she did say it, you know. Maybe she didn't say it on her deathbed. Maybe she said it, and, you know, maybe she knew the end was coming and she had, you know, like in conversation, you know, the days and weeks leading up to it. I still call it bullshit. Maybe. But like you made a good point. Like, it's playing on the heartstrings, you know. And you also made another good point. Listen, with all due respect, I liked Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's not your say.
Yeah,
you're gone. You know, God bless. This could be you did everything you could do, but you're gone. You have no say in what happens. Yeah. Who the next person is, what the process is. The justices are there to do justice, right? Yep. Are there to hear court cases. They're not there to tell the president and Congress what their responsibility and roles are. They're not.
Yeah.
That's the Constitution and whatnot.
Yeah, so so that was something I actually had in all capitals, until a new president is installed. So do you mean if Trump gets reelected,
he wouldn't be a new president?
Yeah, we'd have to wait, what, 4 more years?
Right.
You know, so we can never.
He'd be the same president.
We could never put a new person in your spot until someone other than Trump is. So, I mean, how are we rewriting these rules now? With crayon? Just, I mean, fuck it. Like,
I saw another thing today, actually, that you didn't mention, that Pelosi said that if she, or maybe you wrote it down.
Bottom note.
Yeah. Yep. Nancy Pelosi said that if Trump tries to put this Supreme Court justice in, they're going to try and impeach him.
Yep. Good job, dum-dum. Best of luck.
Oh, what?
This beer is good, isn't it?
As much as I agree that the Republicans are hypocrites for making up a fake fucking rule about how you have to wait till after the election, you can't just magically impeach the president for playing by the actual rules. Yeah. As hypocrite, you know what? It's hypocritical, right? So if you believe it's hypocritical, the only way you could stop that is you got to go to the poll and vote against him, because you say, this guy's a fucking hypocrite. Mitch McConnell's a hypocrite and you should go vote against him, right? That's the only way you can really do anything about that. But for you to say you're going to fucking impeach him for following the rules?
As Trump said, quoted, the bottom line is we won the election. We have the obligation to do what's right and act as quickly as possible.
Granted, he's right. He's a hypocrite, but he's right. He's a hypocrite, but he's right.
I understand what they did to Obama. That's why my second note behind that is I don't give a fuck what the GOP did to Obama, but he's right. What basis do you have to impeach this man?
None.
Yeah.
In that sense, absolutely none.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi basically right now is the kid from Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. Remember when they're playing cards and every hand, I win, I win.
Yeah.
There's no rules to the game, just the kid wins.
I think
this is how she wants to run the House, like the country. Just, I win. I want this, so I win.
I think that people like Nancy are feeling the pressure from the super angry left-wing radical people that are, angry that the Democrats always kind of cow to what the Republicans do. So I think they're doing tough talk to try and pander to that like angry realistic. Radical fucking mob.
It's just at this point we're gonna need to start separating actual actions and meanings to just talking points, because to me we're not the smartest guys, but like we're smart enough to fucking understand this is bullshit. And I feel like the term impeachment is just a talking point that's going to become a trending hashtag on Twitter. It's
losing its meaning.
Yeah.
In the future, the more you throw that out there for every time a president does something you don't like, it loses its meaning, right? So now, we already can't get anything done to begin with.
Yeah.
So now if the president makes decision A and you want a decision B, every decision A is going to be impeachable.
Yeah. And
we're not going to do nothing.
Exactly.
All governance and politics is going to be is a reality TV popularity contest,
which is getting
24/7, and that's the only thing that happens. They never pass a law. They never fix anything. The only thing they're going to get done is raise the budget for military spending.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. And, from Nancy's standpoint, too, it's pretty crazy, too, because you already had a failed impeachment on an anonymous source. Yeah. Like,
that wasn't covered widely enough, too, about how the whole Russia investigation, Mueller.
No, Russia, and that's not done yet. That's nowhere near done. But the whole Ukraine thing that they tried to impeach Trump over, that was a huge flop. As far as I'm concerned, they kept that going so COVID could spread, to be honest with you. It's just something else that's going to make Trump look bad, and everybody understands what impeachment is, and they get rock solid when they hear that. So there's nothing behind it. You're just spewing garbage to your base for the sake of them using like a hashtag that's never gonna. Basically, what they're doing with Black Lives Matter, like, yeah, we're gonna protest, but we're not gonna fix any schools or any infrastructure. Right. It's like, yeah, we're gonna impeach them because you like it when we say impeachment. That's all it is.
Which we're for. We're for like real solutions to fix things for people, but they're not. No. And people are falling, into this fucking. They're falling into the trap. Like the general population, are falling into the trap. People don't realize that.
It's ridiculous. So to end it on some fun, not really fun, but some conspiracy stuff here that ties in with, the Supreme Court.
Should I put on that fucking steel armor hat there?
Maybe. So, right now everybody's upset that Trump is going to possibly get to pick a new Supreme Court judge because, RBG died. And now a new court order has come out saying that all of the names on the Epstein flight logs need to be made public. And Bill, your name's on there 26 times. We know this.
But we already know that, though.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of other names, a lot of celebrities, a lot of politicians, a lot of CEOs and wealthy people. And just because, I will say it, just because they were on the flight log to the island doesn't necessarily mean they went to the island to conduct underage sex.
Right, maybe every single person didn't know what they were getting into. Maybe some people went like, what the fuck? And then they got out of there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of blackmailing went on and stuff like that. But, I mean, there were parties of the rich and famous. And, rich and famous people came. And it doesn't mean that everybody went into a little room and, banged a child or, assaulted a child or anything like that. And we don't have any evidence yet. But one of the names on that list is, where is it? Supreme Court Justice John G. Roberts. So
he's still on the Supreme Court.
Yes,
right?
He is. So now, if this list does come out, now Matt, you want people's heads to explode. Not only does Trump have the 90% potential to replace Ruth, especially if he wins the election, then he has to, whether they play this nicely or they just hammer it in and piss everyone off. he now, if Roberts, obviously either gets arrested or quits.
There's a stretch there, buddy.
Fine, that's fine. But if his name comes out on this log and there's some type of investigation, I can't imagine it could be, a Supreme Court judge for that much longer. So not only now would it be Brett Kavanaugh, not only now would it be whoever replaces Ruth, it would also be whoever replaces Roberts, which would be fucking insane.
Yeah. So you're meaning that Trump is going to basically have appointed like more than half of the
Supreme
Court.
He's gonna be able to pack the Supreme Court in any way he wants to, which would see though. Like, I'm all for that right now because we're basically in this insane 2020 war, and fuck it all. But at the same time, like, how long until the Republican Party becomes what the Democratic Party is now? How long until the Republican Party becomes the establishment? Somebody was talking about, I forget what group chat it was in. Somebody was talking about Trump's children running, and we have a Trump in the White House for the next, 24 years or something like that. I'm not, as much as I like Trump and as smart as some of his kids are, I'm not looking for a dynasty.
Right.
I didn't
it's
even
not England.
Yeah. I'm Republican. I'm not even all for the Bush dynasty. I'm glad Jeb Bush had to bow out. What do we need another Bush in office for?
Everybody should get their fair chance to be in charge.
I'm not looking for. I'm fine if the next in 2024 we have another Republican president. Cool, because that's how it works. You got two new people and you vote for one, and it's a 50-50 shot for either way. I'm fine if the cards fall that way, but to just have a new Trump in every time, then that's how we get to right back to where we are now, with there's so much corruption and so much power in these little families and stuff inside of Congress that you can't get anything done, and that you got to fight tooth and nail and threaten to burn down the system and to impeach the president. You know what I mean? How long would it be till the Trumps become, Lex Luthors? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. How long is it until we get a person who's like a conciliator, and it's like, you know what? I'm not going to go do the thing that everybody thinks I'm going to go do. I'm not. It's my turn now to put a liberal Supreme Court justice in there. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to find someone who's not anything, and when do we get a person in charge? It's going to happen at some point. Someone who's just going to do... When do we get someone who just does the right fucking thing finally? Yeah. And says, listen, let's put a fucking aside our differences, and let's just do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if someone did do that, like if somebody ran on that premise, well,
it would wake a lot of people up.
It would a lot of people would want to vote for that person. The problem is that the media would blackball the fuck out of that person. Yeah. Like a Tulsi Gabbard was that kind of person, or an Andrew Yang, or a Dan Crenshaw was that kind of person, and they don't get enough,
Yeah, I was, I heard something interesting. We'll give a little shout out to the PAS report with Nick, and we definitely want to talk to him soon. But he had a very good statement in his most recent podcast that came out, I guess today. Yeah, today's Monday, right? Yeah. It came out today, and it's about Ruth's passing and how crazy things can potentially get with Trump trying to push in a new nominee. If it doesn't work out, the Senate's really going to take a hit. There's a lot of factors at play. But he said something that was really smart, and I would actually like to see this happen. Okay, it's a presidential election year, right? Trump has his short list. Let's get Biden's short list.
Yeah, I heard this.
Let's get Biden's short list. So my big issue, minus Biden being, a dummy, is that he's not prepared for I don't feel personally like he's prepared for the presidency, because if I was the nominee and COVID's going on, I'm going to be out there. If BLM and all these protests and these peaceful protests are going on, I'm going to be out there. You know what I mean? Not hiding in my basement. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Biden, here's your chance to do a minuscule amount of work. I know you haven't had to do much except for, your little crime bill that was terrible for the black community back in 93 with Bill Clinton. But let's hear who you want. Then at least now, before the election comes, the people could see, oh, this is Trump's A, B, and C. Oh, A on Trump's side is really good. here's Biden's A, B, and C, and it's shill after shill after shill. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that would turn into a partisan battle, though, too. And that would also require Trump to do the right thing and say, I'm not going to nominate my person until after the election.
That's still a possibility.
That'd be a win for him, dude. In my opinion, if he said, I'm here's who I want to nominate, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to let you, the people, make the decision. Do you want me to be the president and nominate one of these people, or do you want Joe Biden? That would gain him a lot of respect, in my opinion, at least.
But that's why I would like to see, Biden's short list. But also, all right, clearly this vote is going to the Senate. That's the way it goes. Okay, for most people who don't know, because people really there's a book. It's called Government for Dummies. Read it. I'm not calling you a dummy, but it makes things easier.
Need to read it.
Yeah, and what you call it? All right, so have Senate majority leaders come to the White House. Have Joe Biden come to the White House. Sit down
that so bad?
with Senate majority leaders on both sides of the party lines and talk about this. We're not passing any laws. We don't need no bipartisanship. Right. None of that. Just
have a discussion.
Yes, have a discussion.
Have Joe Rogan moderate it.
Fine, but at least Trump tell Schumer listen, we could work on this and we could come up with something, or I'll do the nuclear option and steamroll your ass. Mm-hmm. Do you want to put up a fighting chance? Come and talk to me, or the steamroller. Yeah, you know what I mean? Carrot or the stick. And
set a good precedent for working together.
Yeah, but it ain't
gonna happen. Buddy.
No, it's not. That's
pie in the sky.
Yeah.
All right.
What else do you got, pal?
Let's wrap it up. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. Listen, thank you everybody for voting in the poll that I put out.
Yes.
That was the most everybody participation we've ever had. In total, 50, 60 people voted, which is a lot.
Pretty cool.
Thank you for that, and we'll definitely do more polls and stuff like that in the future for stuff that's interesting. Thanks.
Yep.
Go ahead, sign us off, guys.
All right, Doom Nation, thank you for listening. As always, we appreciate it. We want to hear from you guys, so please comment us, email us, 2doommen@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. Any promoters out there will work with you. So as always, Doom Nation, thank you. You can find us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon's new podcast channel.
Yep, just came out. Amazon Music.
Yep. Okay, Amazon Music, there you go. And social media on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's @2DoomMen, and Instagram is @2DoomMen_podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Get your friends to listen. Subscribe on YouTube, please. Have a good day, everybody.
Later.